Hello friends, welcome to today's class. Today I'll be dealing with the next topic, that is asthma. So asthma, that bronchial asthma. So asthma is one of the most common condition we see everywhere. Most of the old age and also small children suffer from asthma. So when you see the definition of asthma, it is the chronic inflammatory disorder of airways caused by hyperresponsiveness of the airways. So, it's a chronic inflammatory disorder of airways caused by hyperresponsiveness of the airways. So, chronic inflammatory disorder means there is this disease will extend for a long time. Okay, so that is once the patient had an asthma attack, he can have recurrent attacks again and again. So that is a chronic disorder of the airways caused by hyperresponsiveness. Hyperresponsiveness is in certain condition our bronchus, that is airways, are the trachea, the bronchus, these are the passage air. So this are the passageway for the air to enter inside the lungs. So this is the bronchus. So when the bronchus go for hyperresponsiveness, so hyperresponsiveness can occur if the bronchus is getting inflamed. So inflammation occurs because of any microorganism. So when microorganism enter and inflame the bronchus, then they can go for hyperresponsiveness, or they can, if there is any bronchoconstriction. So this bronchoconstriction will occur due to some allergens or any occupational dust or any chemicals or air pollution. They can cause bronchoconstriction, or it can cause due to a bronchospasm. So spasm is also constriction of the bronchus due to some disorders, so mainly allergens or some our autoimmune body, our immune system itself, sometimes they act against our own normal cells and they cause spasm of the bronchus, where the bronchus will not bronchus will be permanently constricted. That condition is called as bronchospasm. So you can see the structure of the bronchus. This is one bronchus. So the normal condition, the bronchus opening is full. So you can see the opening is full without any obstructions. This is the normal bronchus, whereas the patient who is having asthma, they will have a inflamed bronchus like this. So inflamed bronchus is, you can see the airway passage is constricted and there is some abnormal cells and tissues are filling the bronchial passage. So this condition is called as bronchial asthma. So next, coming to the causes and predisposing factors of asthma. So first cause is the genetic predisposition. So as in all the class I would have discussed, genetic predisposition means most of the diseases they come from the family history. So when in the family if there is someone suffering with asthma, then the same gene is carried to the offspring or children. So the person can go they are more prone for getting asthma attacks. And next, it can be due to allergens. So allergens means it can be a climatic allergy, that is any cold climate, and if there is any pollen grains, so these pollen grains are found in flowers, and if there is any dust or animal dander or any hair of animals, so like that, if there is any allergens which is allergic to our body, when they enter through the respiratory tract, so maybe due to cold condition or pollen grains, dust, animal dander means it is the dried feces of the animals. So dried feces of the animals and the pet's hair. So when the person is inhaling these allergens, our body starts producing certain immune immune bodies which will cause producing chemicals, and these chemicals will cause inflammation of the bronchus. So thereby patient can go for bronchial constriction. And next is exercise. So exercise means if the person is doing more of exercise. So normally even when a normal person goes for a jogging, running, or doing some aerobic exercise, etc., we have a feeling of asthma, that is we have difficulty in breathing. Same way when the exercise in a higher amount and the person the person's lung is not able to cope up with the exercise, then they can go for asthma. And next is occupational exposure to chemicals. So person who are working in this farming land or any coal industries or any mine industries, so here all there are small dust particles which the person will be inhaling in a constant time. Okay, that means every time the person is getting exposed to these chemicals, and when the person is keeping on inhaling this chemical, these chemicals can cause some inflammation in the bronchus, and they can constrict the bronchus. And next is air pollution. So air pollution is also same way, these are chemicals which can constrict the bronchus. And next is respiratory infection. So respiratory infection, so mainly infections like influenza and rhinovirus. So these both virus have been found to affect the cause inflammation in the bronchus. So patient with any respiratory infection, mainly influenza and rhinovirus, they can have asthma. And next is drugs and additives. So drugs are there are so many drugs which will cause side effects for the person. Same way when a person is taking more of NSAIDs, salicylic acid, and aspirin. So these are the drugs which can trigger the bronchial walls, and they can cause inflammation for the person. If they are taking in a higher amount of these drugs, then person can go for asthma. Additives is some food preservatives or some coloring agents or those things we add in the food. If a person is allergic to these additives, again they can go for asthma. And next is GERD. So GERD means it is gastroesophageal reflux disease. So already in my bronchitis class I said, if the person is having GERD means, so when you see the oral cavity will lead into esophagus, and from the esophagus there is stomach coming. Okay, so this area there is a lower esophageal sphincter. So lower esophageal sphincter, so whenever we take in food, this the food enters the stomach, and this sphincter has to close in order to prevent the food going back in the esophagus. So certain condition, this esophageal sphincter will not be very tight or it cannot hold, so the esophageal sphincter will open, and the acid will from the GI system they can reflex, and here the trachea is coming, so they can reflex and go back into the trachea, and through the trachea they can go to the bronchus and they cause inflammation. So this acid is harmful to the bronchial cells, so they can cause inflammation and bronchoconstriction. And next is psychologic states. So certain times asthma can be triggered due to some psychological states like any excessive emotions. So excessive emotion may be when the person is very much fear or very much anger, when the person is hearing sudden death of some near relatives, or when the person is emotion is having sudden increase or sudden excessive emotions, whether sudden excessive laughing, excessive crying, excessive fear, excessive anxiety, all these can exaggerate the person and they can cause asthma. So these are the predisposing factors and causes of asthma. And coming to the classification of asthma. Okay, so classification. So actually asthma, okay, according to the cause of asthma, it is classified as occupational asthma. So occupational asthma is when the person who is working in certain occupation where they are chronically or constantly exposed to the dust and chemicals, they can go for asthma attack. So that is called occupational asthma. And next is exercise induced asthma. So person who is doing diving and aerobic exercises and jogging, running, and so much gymnastics, so all those heavy exercises, they can induce the person to trigger asthma. So exercise induced asthma, and most common cause is allergen asthma. So allergen asthma is due to some allergies. When the person is allergic, as I already said, if there is any animal dander or any hair of the pets or any pollen grains, any soil, any dust, these can cause allergen to the person. So these can inflame the airways, and thereby patient can go for asthma. So this is the classification of asthma. Next, coming to the pathophysiology of asthma, due to any predisposing factors like allergens, irritants and infections. So allergens means any of these pollen grains, dust, etc., and irritants is the chemicals from the occupation, and infection is due to rhinovirus or influenza. So these whenever these enters our body through inhalation, there is activation of IgE immune mediator. So IgE is mainly responsible, it's an antibody which is present in our body and is responsible to fight against any allergens and irritants. So this antibody will be produced. So when this antibody is produced, the body starts releasing inflammatory mediators like neutrophils, leukocytes and eosinophils. So these are the chemicals are produced in order to destroy the coming allergens, that is the foreign body, and when they are produced, they cause irritation and injury to the bronchial walls, and this will result in bronchospasm of the airways. So when the spasm is constriction of the airways. So when there is constriction of airways, the fluid within the bronchial walls will start coming outside, and they will cause the congestion in the airways. So that is called increased mucus production. So the mucus due to the chemicals and also the irritation of the cells, this all the fluid will start producing in an increased amount. So there is an increased mucus production. So because of this increased mucus production, there is impaired mucociliary function of the airways. So usually whenever there is secretion in our mouth, the ciliated cells present in the respiratory tract, they will remove the secretions from the respiratory tract. So but when the mucus is produced in a higher amount, this mucociliary function will not function normally. So there will be impaired mucociliary function of the airways. So when the mucociliary function is impaired, there will be thickening of the airways. So that means the redness, the swelling and abnormal cells will come and accumulate on the will come and attach on the airways, and there will be thickening. So that when in the first picture I said, if the bronchial airway should be like this, due to the mucus production and other infected particles, they form some abnormal thing in the airway, and there will be thickening of this airway, and this will result in bronchial hyperresponsiveness. Hyperresponsiveness is when the the bronchial walls will become inflamed and constricted, which will cause airway obstruction. That means if normally the air has to enter through this bronchial wall, there is a constricted area, so it is very difficult for the air to pass through the constricted airway. So when the through the constricted bronchial walls, when the air is entering, you can hear a whistling sound. That is production of whistling sound during breathing due to airflow through the obstructed airway. That whistling sound with wheezing is called as asthma.